Hello, welcome to the second part of the Payment Center. Today we're going to cover the different tabs within the Payment Center. On part one we've already covered the Payment tab, so I'm going to skip over that one. We're going to go through the Miscellaneous Payment tab right now. Miscellaneous Payment tab is a way for you to take payments in and to take payments out of your cash drawer that are not tied to a specific account. For instance, in this case we're going to input a check in from an insurance check that did not have an account number or stock number on it, and we don't know where it is, and the insurance company is closed right now. So we are going to put this into our bank account and deposit it, and we're going to do that through the Miscellaneous Payment tab. Here we're going to pick the source. We're going to pick a check. Delivery is going to be in the mail. How much the check was for, say $2,000, and payment of $2,000. Location of pay, and miscellaneous code are going to be all drop-downs based on your user-defined settings. The check number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The memo source, insurance check, from Geico. And we're going to save that. And it'll ask you to print a receipt. I would always recommend printing a receipt and putting that with the actual check, so that way you have that information filed, or a copy of the check. That way you have that information filed and you can look back to see what that exact receipt number is. So that way when you do tie it to an account, you can have that information readily available. I'm going to print no. The way to void a miscellaneous payment is, let's say that you took that check in and you typed the check number in wrong, or it was actually the wrong check, you actually put in a copy of the check, you would hit void miscellaneous pay inside the miscellaneous tab. You would not do a reversal from any of the void payments. You would do a miscellaneous payment void directly in the miscellaneous payment tab. You would choose the month and year, and you can search for a specific receipt number. So as the month goes along, you'll see this list fill up. If you have the specific number, you can hit that and then type in search, or you can just click on the actual payment you want to void. We're going to choose that $2,000 and then put in the memo of not real, and then save that, and it's going to post that as a negative transaction in your cash drawer. And that's the miscellaneous payment. The next tabs are how to void a loan payment. You can either void a payment on a loan either by today or previous, and that's going to show you void payments today and previous is based on your security. So you might have a transaction in here or an employee that you want to void payments today. Maybe they just typed in the wrong payment account number. But you don't want them to change to previous. So depending on your security, you can show or not show those different tabs. In this case, we're going to void a previous payment. We're going to select the payment we want to void, hit yes. It will automatically correct the interest and contractual due date for you, so you don't have to touch that. It does allow you to change that, and the reason why is because if you do any type of adjustments or anything, you might have to adjust that later on down the road. And let's just say that this was posted to the wrong account. Hit save, and that will actually ask you to print a receipt. Again, I recommend that you do that. For demo purposes, we're going to hit no, and that will actually void that payment out. Okay? You'll notice that we can also check to make sure that that happened based on the review payment screen. So you can see that information here. A PV means a previous day void. The transaction for a void payment today will be an ER for a reversal. And NSF charges. NSF charges is a way to reverse a payment and also apply an NSF fee. And that could be based on a check number, credit card, ACH, Western Union, any type of payment that is put into the system you can NSF on. Again, it's the same way that the void payment works. You click on the payment. Do you want to void this? You hit yes. It's already been voided, so let's pick a different one. Hit yes. And we'll automatically apply the drawer number and the default system NSF fee, which you can change if you need be, and then put a comment and then save. The other two tabs that we have are additional charges and account adjustment that I'll continue on here with. Additional charges is a way for you to add additional money that is non-interest bearing on to the end of the loan. And the way that most people use this is for a repo fee, for instance. The way that you can add an additional charge is you would go down here and hit New. That is the first step that you have to do. Put in the due date, So let's just say that it's today, and description is going to be repo fee for the amount of $250. The memo is going to be for repo pickup fee from ARA, American Recovery Association. We're going to do this as number of payments. This can be one payment for $250, or you can break this out into payment schedule. For instance, 5 payments of $50. And that's a way for you to know exactly on that additional charge how the customer was expected to pay it back. Typically, 9 times out of 10, you see one payment for $250. Then you would just hit the Save button, and that will clear that out. To view your additional charges, you can click on View. This will show you the total that's outstanding. Hit OK, and this will show you a breakout of that fee. You can print that out or close it. If you need to modify or edit those additional charges, you can go into Select, pick the one that you want to pull in, and you can have that additional right in here. Okay? We can also void or take a payment. To take a payment on additional charges, you want to receipt it, and that will give you an actual payment selection based on your additional charges for applying that $250. Again, you don't want to take payments on additional charges or miscellaneous payments from your payment screen. You want to do that from the individual tabs. Same with the void screen. The void on additional charges you want to do right here on the screen and not in the void payment tabs or the NSF tab. Okay, we all know how to post a payment, so it's the same way that you would post a payment. You pick the source, delivery, payment amount, and how much was tendered. You do require a memo source and a memo, and you hit Save. It will ask you to print out a receipt. You hit Yes. Account adjustment. Account adjustment is at the very top end management level, and this is only showed on dealer principals or general managers of dealerships and finance companies. And this is a way to adjust an account based on the different series of events that may happen. For instance, your additional charges balance. You might go in here and not charge that repo fee, so you want to book that in, you want to zero that out, you can do that. If you want to change the current balance, let's say that this balance was at a very low balance of $5.42, and you know you're not going to get that customer to make that last payment, you can go in here and change that current balance to 0, and that way you can close that loan out. Again, all this is tracked directly in your cash drawer report, and we also have an adjustments report in the report center, so everything you do here can be seen. The interest date and the contract date, interest paid to date, principal paid to date, payment amount, etc. All this information is available for you to change, and again is security based. We do track the note, so we require you to put the note in there so that you can enter that in and see all that information. We also have, let me just put a note in there real quick. We also have an adjustment code, so you can actually code what those adjustments are for, so you can see that information. So for instance, edit up, edit down, extension of payment, if you charge a payment, extension fee, if you forgave interest, refinance, repossession, sold to bank, rewrite, etc. So you can see those, and that way you can pull those reports, filtering on those and not just a memo. To change that, you would just hit Save and then go on. Typical things that we see are your adjustment codes are based on adjusting your late charge balances. If you've got 5 or 6 late fees that have been racked up and a customer wants to get current again, you might only require 1 late fee to be paid. Same with your the different accrued balance, accrued interest balance, or your APR. Maybe it's a military act where it's going from 29% and now they're at needs to go down to 13%. You can adjust that right here into the system. So that's a way for you to adjust those. And this is the advanced section, part 2 of the Payment Center.